Hey everybody, it's CJ. Welcome to another exciting episode of Street Startups. I'm back in the seat again, in the hot seat again with my partner, Tracey Syphax. Tracey, how are you?
Oh man, I'm doing just great, CJ. Good morning. It's great to be back on the air again, once again here at Street Startups. And listen, man, you have to let me introduce this guest here, CJ.
Absolutely.
Normally
Absolutely.
off, man, but listen, I want to have the opportunity to introduce Chef Jeff, award-winning, New York Times best-selling author, TV personality, hustlepreneur. I mean, he is the person that I really look at when we talk about transform your hustle. This is the guy. So it gives me great pleasure, and it's an honor to bring Chef Jeff here on Street Startups, the podcast today. So, Chef, welcome to the show, sir.
Yeah, thank you for having me, and great morning out there, y'all.
Good. So, Chef, let's get right into it, man, because I know, we can go for a while, and 15 minutes is going to go real fast, but we want to make sure we cover a lot of bases, man. So this is a great opportunity to have you come on the show. And let's just start right off. Let's just talk about the power of network. You know, me and you met 2013 in New Orleans. You were down there. I was down there, Essence Music Fest, and staying at the same hotel. And the manager said, Tracey, you know, you got to come down, have dinner. We have Chef Jeff down there. You and him share the same story. I had books. You had books. We met. And let me tell you, the food was awesome. The meal was The meal was definitely slamming. We met. We talked. We exchanged books. So it was a great opportunity to meet you back in 2013. But we kept that going. The network has continued. I was just sharing how we're able to do some work down in Virginia because of your recommendation. So let's talk about the power of networking. Let's talk about the power of how you build that network and what that means for future entrepreneurs coming up in the business game of how do you bring those networks and those people together to create the vision and plan that you want for your future as an entrepreneur.
Yes. Well, you know, the power of networking is one of the key traits in any successful entrepreneur, business person, streetpreneur, whatever type of business you may be in. Because everyone must understand when they go into entrepreneurship, nobody gets to the top alone. There has to be collaboration. There has to be relationships, not just relationships to be saying, I know this person, but relationships built on a strategic mission. It's all about strategic relationships because nobody is a subject matter expert at everything. It's humanly impossible to be the best at everything. So you need these other people around you, these other organizations, these other entities for people to bring specific strategies, information to you that allow you to grow your business. So networking is key, whether you're at certain conferences or events, but building a network within your genre of entrepreneurship, your business, whatever it may be. I'm a chef. So in order for me to have become a top chef at the top restaurants and hotels around the country, I had to build strategic relationships and get my network on within people in that genre of high-end California French cuisine. So for me, being a former incarcerated person, spent 10 years in federal prison, never been to culinary school a day in my life, failed throughout public school. I got my PhD in streetology on the streets. And when I was in prison, you know, I earned my GED. So I always say I graduated from Federal University. You know, I was in there with some of the most brightest minds. And I remember once speaking at Toastmasters in prison, and a Wall Street guy came up to me afterwards. He says, Jeff, you're a smart guy. I said, what do you mean? No one ever told me I was smart. He said, when you was on the street and you built that network, which allowed you to build, to make millions of dollars on the street during the 1980s, again, a part of my life that I'm not proud of, because we know that was the birth of modern day mass incarceration. Absolutely. However, he did identify, he shared some words with me I'd never heard in my life: entrepreneurship, marketing, branding, public relations, distribution, P&L, bottom line. I never heard those words before, but I was actually doing that on the street. Never a gang member, never carried guns, never had a fight or got stole on when I was on the street selling drugs. But I had a gift of building a network in different neighborhoods with rival gangs, killers, you know, shot callers on the street. So when you think about the gift, is you have to figure that way of how to get access to those networks that will allow you to do business. And sometimes everybody doesn't have that networking gift. Everybody doesn't have those communication gifts. So then you need to build your team and put people around you who can do your network for you.
Powerful. That's powerful. That's powerful. CJ?
That's great, Chef. Thank you so much for highlighting the power of bringing our gifts, and taking our talents and applying them in positive ways. It's such an important part of what we do. One of the things, Chef, I've always admired about you is your advocacy for research and doing the work, finding the data to support your efforts and making sure you've done your homework before you go into a situation. And you've told that you told a story once about you researching a restaurant that you wanted to work at and how important that was in you getting into that network. Can you talk a little bit about the power of research, particularly in today's environment when it's very difficult and very tough to succeed and to do well, and how that research and data is helping you?
Yes. So I take a military and street approach to a lot of the strategies that I use to build business. So I always say intel. It's like the military. Before we go to war with a country or adversary, we get intel. We need information. You just don't go into the war zone and start fighting. So I take that same concept into the business world and say, okay, I want to work for the Bellagio. I want to work for Marriott. I want to work for Caesar's Palace. So how do I get the job that I want in that company? I need to network with the right people to get me access. So I need information. So I do what you call a corporate recon, where I would go into the hotel at the Bellagio and I would have lunch or dinner. I would order food so I can get a visual of what that food looks like, which in turn tells me about the style of the chef and the cuisine that they cook. Then I would chat up the hostess. And I would chat the hostess up for the inside politics of that particular company. Hi, my name is Jeff, moving out here from California. I'm trying to get a job here. Like, who's the chef? Oh, the chef is Wolfgang von Wies. Okay, what's his style? What's he like? Where is he from? Oh, he's from the Four Seasons, and he's from Germany, Austria. So, So I noticed that there was a veal Wiener Schnitzel on the menu. So I figured if I can get a hold of this guy, I can sell my style of food around a German flair to get him interested. Oh, wow, this guy kind of likes German cuisine. Then in the big hotels, you have 27 restaurants. And every day, the executive chef of the hotel has to walk the property to visit these restaurants from the front side, from a customer perspective. So I staked out the restaurant, waited in the lobby to see the executive chef, Wolfgang von Wieser, walk through the hotel. Then I jammed him up. So I didn't go through the application process, human resource. So that's how I do when it comes of getting data and information. You got to do your research. You got to read. You got to study. You got to meet people. Because if you go for that opportunity, you can blow it without the right amount of data. So that whole strategy comes back from the streets. Again, a part of my life I'm not proud of, but when I moved drugs, I would get data on particular neighborhoods, streets, projects, and corners before I went there. I'm not going to just walk in somebody else's turf and start slinging. I needed information. I need to know who the shot callers were, who the killers were, who was the movers and shakers before I went into that particular territory. So there's a very thin line between street entrepreneurship and corporate or legitimate entrepreneurship.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I like to look at that as actually a direct line, Chef. This is something me and you had a conversation about the other day. When we look at the skills learned that we honed on the streets, one of the greatest attributes of an entrepreneur is someone that can take risks.
Yes.
The biggest risk takers we know
yes.
are in prison. So when we talk about those transferable skills, these are skills, and this is the whole reason why I connected with CJ some 4 years ago and we began Reentry Ventures, because I recognize the same way you recognize that inside prisons all across this country are some of the most talented, innovative, creative folks that we've ever met. Me and you probably met going through prison. Probably
yes.
More than my 25 years of being in business. I've met some very talented people. How do we begin to to teach and convey this information to our folks who are in prison, that you have these talents. These are talents that are already instilled in you. How do you take those and move those to the market?
Yeah.
Yes. But what is key coming out of the prison system? So when you're incarcerated, you take on a prison culture, you know, of how you survive, how you move, how you operate in a prison culture. And sometimes that persona resonates and showcases itself when you come out. So I say this to guys and gals who are in the system who are coming out. You, first of all, you have to figure out what your gift is, because there's a lot of talented people and gifted people that were selling drugs and things and wind up getting caught in prison. But the key is figuring out what your gift, the one thing, the two things that you do extremely well at a very high level is the gift. That's what you need to focus on. Coming out of prison, being a formerly incarcerated person, or quote unquote, what they used to say, a convicted felon, we have to build a very strategic and unique brand in order to get access. First of all, we're marked men. We're walking out of prison with a bullseye. You know, a man of color, convicted felon, never been, never had any formal training or whatnot. So you have to be able to say, how do I package my gifts and talents and sell them to an organization or a company or start a business to try to build clients? For me, I had to stop lifting weights. I tell cats, every prison I go to, stay off the weight pile. Build this, not this. Because what happens, we come out of prison swole up, no behind, no legs. They know we're not professional bodybuilders. So that's the stigma. We don't smile. You know, we mean mugging and we always post it up, right? So for me, I had to diffuse the prison stigma. It was like when I walked out of prison, I had 16138, 198 stamped in my chest, felon on my forehead. I had to learn to smile. My first investment was getting my grill fixed. Look at my grill. Because in corporate America, all the businessmen have nice grills. I clean shaved my face. I took makeup to cover my earring hole up. I went out like you and got the trendy eyewear, okay? And then I said to myself, okay, I still got that prison walk, that street swagger. Then I analyze, because I'm an analyst. I analyze people, and that comes from the streets and being in prison, right? So I said, I got to learn middle-class values, middle-class culture. The guys who I need access to and to build relationships with, how do they socialize? How do they walk? How do they talk? How do they live? How do they eat? How do they roll, period? And I realized that successful businessmen who didn't look like me, they wore tight pants. They wasn't sagging. They had little high water pants, flashy socks, and fancy wingtip shoes. That wasn't my style, but I had to tighten my pants up. I had to chameleonize my approach to opportunities. Unfortunately, some people, some ethnic groups, and some people, based on their past circumstances and situations, that we have to put a costume on to build. Everybody does it. Even the corporate boys put on costumes every single day. Because when we're at home with our families doing our own thing, we're not who we are when we're on stage. So that's the model that I duplicated, is I tell guys and gals, what costume are you going to wear? Does that costume reflect the business or the occupation you want to go into? Do you know your strengths, which is the gift? But also you have to know your weaknesses, where you fall short at. Then you have to be public speaking, because when you interview for a job or you're trying to sell a client a product, you're giving a speech. My spiel was, how are you today, sir? Wow, Jeff, I'm so excited about this extraordinary opportunity to be interviewing here at the world famous Bellagio. Oh my God, I never thought I would be working here. You see what I'm saying? Big smile, high energy. That guy was like, whoa, doesn't reflect prison culture based on the media. It's all a game. It's called playing chess.
Wow, my man. Listen, bro, we can go for hours, Chef. I'm seriously, man. Listen, this has been a great interview. Real quick, we have maybe a minute left. I just want to close out, because I think the quarantine cookouts have been off the chain.
Thank you.
I want to make sure folks know about this. I want to make sure that they tune in, because you got me ready to fire up the grill. It's cold here in Jersey, but I'm about ready to fire up the grill. Somebody at my house.
We got Kenny Lattimore this weekend, and I'm cooking a blackened salmon with lime butter with a corn and okra mock chew. And we're going to turn up, man. We got great music. And I'm going to give you guys a shout out this weekend as well and tell folks to follow you guys as well, because people right now are in a position in crisis. They don't know what to do. They're stuck. And you guys are offering hope from an entrepreneurial perspective, because now some people may not have a job when they go back. There may not be no more jobs. Absolutely. So now you have to think about what's your gifts, how do you package them, and create your own entrepreneurial opportunities.
Good stuff. CJ?
That's it. Folks, thank you so much, Chef. Thank you so much, Chef Jeff, talking food and business. What better topics could we be on, right?
Man.
So, folks, check us out. As always, streetstartupsthepodcast.com. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Take care. All right.